or educated, uneducated, or even handicapped sort of people, disregard. All are same human being. All have a basic right. And we, one of them. So therefore, humanity as a one body, so therefore, others' problem is also my problem. So therefore, in order to achieve sort of happy life myself, I have to take serious sort of consideration about others' welfare. If the rest of the people, rest of the humanity happy, peaceful, then all individuals will get a benefit. So the taking care of others is not just holy or something, just pure ethical, but it is something relevant for one's own welfare or one's own happiness.
There is a mighty spirit shining out across the sky. God's calling out the weary to green pastures, come and lie. There is a mighty spirit crossing a barren lands. God sowing love unceasing, fresh fruit springs from the same. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Healing Spirit, healing Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Healing Spirit, healing Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Take over this
Healing Spirit, healing Spirit, this place. So in this, I am recognizing the one life of God that is present everywhere. Knowing there is not a spot where God is not. God is right here, moving in and through this space as perfect order, perfect unfoldment, just a perfect day. And in this knowingness about God, I'm knowing that each and every person that is here is supposed to be here. And I'm giving thanks for all the people who showed up and the people who are watching and the people who are on their way or the people who just have us in their minds and they're just holding us up in the light. I'm just so grateful this morning. And I'm grateful for all the sacred service that is here to help us make this just a great day for everyone. Knowing that as we shine our light in this place, our light shines everywhere. Our light is bright. And so I'm grateful for the music department, the ushers, the practitioners, the youth ministry, the treasury department, everyone that makes this just a perfect service. And I'm especially thankful and grateful to our minister, Reverend C, as she shows up all the time, letting us know who we are and that we are the light and that we shine bright everywhere we are. So I am grateful to be able to speak my word, knowing that all is well, knowing that all is well. Regardless of whatever you see going on in your life, just know that we are always in our right and perfect place. And there's something bigger going on that we may not see. But we know if God is everywhere, God is right there. Right there. And we just have to know that. We have to know it and trust and allow God to unfold in our life as it does. And so I just say I'm grateful again. And I just let it be. And so it is.
Mighty Spirit, mighty Spirit, take over this place, take over this place, mighty Spirit, mighty Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Take over this place. Take over this place. There is a mighty Spirit crossing a barren lands. God sowing love unceasing. Fresh fruit springs from the sand. Fresh fruit springs from the sand.
Good morning, East Bay. Good morning. I'm Sherry Greer, and I'm a licensed practitioner here, and I'm your pulpit assistant today. I know what I am. Anyway, and so I'm just here to just kind of invite you to use our services at the end of the service. If there's ever a need for prayer, please don't leave here without asking one of us to pray for you. We have a beautiful prayer room so we can make you feel comfortable, and being in there is private, because before we used to pray out here, but we now have a space for you to be able to go to in private. And also, even if in the middle of service and you need someone to pray, find someone in purple stall and ask them for prayer. Amen. Yeah, ask them for prayer. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to do our declaration of principles. So there is a paper that looks like this. And we will read them in unison. All right. We believe in God, the living Spirit, Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualized expressions of the one Spirit. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind. We believe in the control of the conditions through the power of this mind. We believe in eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God. And so it is.
Good morning, good morning. I see you made your way here with the daylight savings time. Congratulations. Give yourself a hand. My name is Reverend Celeste Frazier. I'm the spiritual leader here at the East Bay Church of Religious Science. It's my joy to welcome you here today. It's so good to see you. And I'm so grateful for Sherry and facilitating and being this wonderful pulpit assistant. I'm grateful for not only the beauty of Sharon's song and the beauty of this band, but the wonderful music that they play for us this morning. What I want you to know is that we are an open and welcoming community. And what that means to us is that we don't care what your background is. We don't care what your race is. We don't care what religion you came from, or if you're still in that religion or no religion at all. We don't require anything of you. We just celebrate the fact that you're here. And so my pronouns are she, her, and hers. And that's not always evident for people who are transgender and people who identify in various ways who are not cisgender. So we acknowledge that everyone has a right to be addressed in the way that they choose and request and require us to. And so it is my joy also to highlight one aspect of the Declaration of Principles, and that is we believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. The Dalai Lama in the short video was referring to the unity of all life. We'll be talking about more about what this innermost God is and how personal God is to each of us. And we'll also be exploring how that translates into living authentically, being in integrity, and being brave. So with no further ado, I'd like to welcome those of you who might be here for the very first time today. Please please stand so that we may welcome you and confer a blessing upon you. Yes. Please remain standing while the congregation gives you a blessing. Repeating after me, welcome to the East Bay Church of Religious Science. Welcome to the East Bay Church of Religious Science. We know who you are. You are a unique individualization of God. You are love, beauty, and intelligence. You are a special way that God is happening on this planet. We thank God for you. Welcome to the East Bay Church of Religious Science. Please take your seats with honor. Know that you are appreciated. And what we also want you to know is that rose is kind of an indicator to the people in our bookstore that you're new here and that we have a gift for you, and that's a CD of today's service. We just simply ask that you leave us your contact information so we can stay in touch with you and let you know when something might be happening that would be a benefit to you. And now, for all of us, I'd like us to reach out to one another, to reach out and touch. If that means shake a hand, if that means give a smile, if that means give a hug, just please connect with one another. Hey, for reaching out and sharing your love this morning.
Make this world a better place. Yes, you can.
Thank you. Thank you. This is one of the loving times of our service, just one of them, that we're able to just reach out and touch each other and just share our love and let our light shine. Now we will have, are you going to read the quote? Okay. We will have our community opportunities, which will be read by Constance.
Good morning, East Bay.
Good morning.
How are you? It's good to see you. I'm honored to present the community opportunities for today or for this week or for this month. And I just want to give a couple of reminders. You all already heard that we have practitioner prayer support. And we believe that prayer changes lives. And so we just really want to make sure that if you came here, you drove here, and there was something on your mind or on your heart, that you don't leave here with that you give that over and that you get support, because we're a supporting community. So please make sure that you stop by the prayer room or tap one of our practitioners and get your prayers in so that you can move forward with a wonderful week.
Amen.
Amen. First-time visitors, just a reminder, we want to see you in the bookstore. Come and drop by. You will get a free tape of today's service. And we just love to thank you and welcome you once again for coming to East Bay. Midday meditation. Now, I don't make it here, but I do a midday meditation. And if I can make it here, and if you can make it here between 12:30 and 1 p.m., midday, come and get your little pep, get recentered. There's a lot that happens. It's Tuesday through Friday, and it's now held in the prayer room, and it's a great opportunity for you to reconnect with your own self and to reconnect with others. So please join us. 46-year anniversary gala. The anniversary gala has a limited amount of tickets that we can sell. And the price is now $150 for our 46th anniversary. You can make these payments in installments, 3 payments, in the bookstore, or you can go to the kiosk after service to reserve your seat. You can simply just put Gracious Giving and select events, and you'll find the East Bay 46th birthday gala. Please get your tickets now and early before we sell out, and also to show that we are supporting East Bay and the celebration of 46 years of awesome service to this community. We are also hosting a historical bus tour and lunch. This is the history of East Bay. This is a history of where we have been, where we have come, who's been involved, and all the wonderful things. If you're a newer member like me, I'm excited to learn from some amazing docents and folks who have put together a wonderful history of East Bay. So please join us for that historical bus tour, and tickets for that bus tour are also on sale at the bookstore or at the kiosk. Member survey. This week, you should have received a survey asking about your thoughts and feelings about East Bay. What you are happy about, what you like to see different, and your vision for a new East Bay or a new future. Please turn these in today if you have them. They are due by March 15th, so if you haven't had a chance to take a look and fill it out, please do so by March 15th. All surveys can be given to any of our ushers here today or brought to the church office. And thank you for letting us know your thoughts and your feelings and how we can make East Bay a better community. A season for nonviolence. We are having East Bay's Nonviolent Communication Panel will take place Saturday, March 16th from 2 to 4. The moderator is Pilar Iguez, and panelists include Aisha Claudy, Edwin Rutsch, Kat Kohlberg, and Kiran Patel. Suggested love offering is $5. However, no one will be turned away for lack of funds. So get your tickets to the East Bay Peace Concert and order your East Bay t-shirt at the kiosk. The women's choir, the men's choir, and and Sharon are going to tell us more about that.
Yes, I'm Sharon Henderson, and I am the director of the Women's Chorus and bringing greetings from the music ministry. Yes. And you all know, you've been here for a while, know that East Bay concerts are the bomb, right? Yes, yes, yes. So we want to get your tickets and get them early because we plan to sell out, okay? So, and everybody's going to be involved. The men's chorus, New Day, Reflection, you see here today, women's chorus, and the mass choir. So please, please, please get your tickets. You can get your tickets at ebcrs.org, or you can just go right out to the kiosk. And I recommend you go get your ticket today at the kiosk. Today, okay? Please come out and support your community and our music ministry. We're growing the ministry. It's going magnificently under the guidance of Reverend Celeste, who has given us direction, and we're on the move. So we want you all to come out. Okay? Yes, yes. Oh, I didn't say anything about the day. We are having this concert on March the 30th, which is Saturday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Be here.
In addition to another celebration for our season of nonviolence, we have $10 tickets for the film Long Shadow. They can also be purchased at the kiosk. And this documentary of the journey of white slave owners leads us to the issues that we face today. The filmmakers will be present for Q&A after the screening, and this is all included in the cost of admission. It is a $10 love offering. However, no one will be turned away due to lack of funds. That was the date for that is March 29th. Church annual meeting. Join East Bay's Board of Trustees to hear about the church's 2018 accomplishments. Vote for new board members, and hear our intentions for 2019 during our annual meeting on Sunday, March 24th. We'll begin with a potluck in the fellowship hall at 12:30 and hold the meeting in the sanctuary beginning at 2. Thank you for allowing me to be your shepherd today. Enjoy services. Okay, that's it.
And now we will have another musical selection from our Sharon and Friends and Company. Reflections. I apologize.
Yes. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I say that all the time to remind myself, when things don't always look like it, God is still good, because God is the good. God is the all in all. So there can be nothing but good. Depends on how I want to see it, what shows up in my life. So we bring today a Corinthian song. To speak to just that idea. God is good. I am troubled, yet not distressed, confused, but not in despair. I'm a vessel full of power, with a treasure none can compare. Persecuted, but not forsaken, been cast down, but not destroyed. I'm a vessel got a treasure from the Lord. So thank you, Spirit, for your power. It has resurrected me from my painful circumstances. Now my soul has been set free. Full of power, with a treasure from the Lord. I'm a vessel full of power, with a treasure from the Yes, we are all vessels full of power. We all have treasures from the Lord. Yes. And this is a song. I love this song now that I heard it. And Reverend Celeste brought this song. So I'm going to try to do it justice. Y'all may know it, but I hadn't heard it until she said it to me. Yes. So... This is me, just as I am. Whole, perfect, and complete. Yes? Whew, all right, here we go. I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. And not that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. To be, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricade, reaching for the sun. We are glorious. We are, yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna break me down, I'm gonna send the flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh, 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 the sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send the flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am brave, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh, oh, come on, church. Oh, 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 this is me. One more time. Come on, church. This is me.
That was fun, huh? That's Sharon Henderson and Reflection. That's how the hip-hop churches do it. That's all I'm saying. And it's so good to be with you again. It seems like I've been away for ages from the pulpit, even though I was here last week, and we got to enjoy the wonderful brilliance and consciousness of Reverend Deborah Johnson. Yes. And so that song was actually from the movie The Greatest Show on Earth, and it was about P.T. Barnum, and in fact, all of those people that he was making money off of in the circus, he didn't appreciate them coming up in his circle, you know, when he was with his friends. He didn't want the bearded lady coming up in there embarrassing him and everything, and she was like, this is me. Okay? And so what I'm inviting us into is that phrase that I am marching to the beat I drum. And the thing about the drum is, and our African ancestors remind us of this all the time, is that the drum is a reminder of our spirit. And the drum is a reminder that it is eternal and that it has a rhythm to it. And we get to be attuned to that rhythm. We get to be aligned in that beat and how it resonates with us uniquely and individually. Because we are all here on purpose. God didn't make any excess. So you were here because you are supposed to be. You are here because you were by divine design necessary to fulfill a purpose that only you can. Because of the genius that you have within you that is longing to be expressed, that thing that you might call discontent is actually your dharma or your purpose that is egging you to let it out and to reveal it in all of its magnificence, in all of its perfection as only you can. Yes. And so when you say, this is me, this is what you're saying. And so in order to be able to stand in that power, it takes a little bit more self-love than perhaps we're willing to give ourselves. It takes a little bit more nourishing and nurturing than perhaps we give ourselves permission to do, thinking that somehow we will be looking so good because of all the things we did for the other people while neglecting ourselves. Until we get to the point where we can't even be of service to anyone else because we have not first served ourselves. And so that's why one of the things that the practitioners are doing in their meeting this afternoon is self-care. Okay, and I require it every other meeting because I want them to take care of themselves so that they may be fit instruments to support you. But also I want them to know their wholeness in every possible moment that can be visited. So my friend, once my TA and a wonderful minister, Cynthia James, we're going to get her here one of these days. She has a book, and she has this whole self-care kit, and I bought it. And this particular book that I'm about to quote from is called "I Choose Me." And she says, the challenge is to trust that when your world, your relationship, your job, or your finances seem to be falling apart, this is the time when we are called to remember that change is inevitable and may not be comfortable. In the midst of that discomfort, there is the divine opportunity to activate a trust that you are supported. It is the time to remember that you are centered in the infinite field of grace, and it is guiding you always. See, when we bump up against those challenges, that's an opportunity. You know, the Japanese symbol, the Japanese symbol for crisis is opportunity. They mean the same thing. How they are interpreted means there's something that is awaiting you. And I'm here to tell you that that something that is awaiting you is your greater self that is seeking to be birthed, and that anything that appears to be an obstacle is simply getting your attention long enough for you to be able to step into your true, authentic self in a greater way. And so we have to know that in these storms, in these situations, whether it be a physical storm where, the tree falls on the church and we get that room remodeled we've been trying to figure out how to do by somebody else's insurance company, or whatever might be happening in your relationships, or what might be looking kind of pale green in your bank account, or whatever's going on around that. Okay, there's an opportunity for me to make different choices for me, not for somebody else, not because of somebody else's perception of me, but for my peace. For me to be at peace and for me to be in my joy is penultimate. It's the most essential thing that there is. So when the Dalai Lama was speaking earlier, for those of you who did set their clocks forward and were here on time to see it, the Dalai Lama was talking about everybody's happiness is connected to my happiness. Everybody, regardless of race, he said, all people are entitled to be in their joy. And as our mystic of the month, with our book of the month, Howard Thurman, and for the inward journey, and in many other ways through his videos and all of the expressions that he does, one of the things that he says is, I cannot be who I am to be until you are who you are to be. And so there is a connection, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Our energetic connection is such that we get to be not codependent, but interdependent with one another. And so in this season for nonviolence, so many of you keep saying season of nonviolence, like this is the season that we're going to be nonviolent, and then we're going back to being violent again. Not. Season 4 means that we're promoting more of the nonviolence, or as Mother Teresa would simply say, is this a season for peace? Yes. And so we're expressing how we can see more peace in ourselves, first and foremost, in order for us to be able to share that with the world, to give that peace to the world from our vibration, from our energetic field, so that from our overflow, there is an abundance of peace for the world to be able to accept. And so we think that's pretty important, and that's why we're doing all these activities to keep us in that field and that conscious awareness of how essential our peace is. We have also just embarked on the season of Lent. Now, for those of you who are Christian in origin, which is many people, and I presume in this church, some of that mindset came with the God 1.0 version. I said, well, you need to do this in order to be saved. We'll talk about what saved means in a little bit. But I need to deny myself of something for 40 days. I need to just withdraw from something because that's not good for me, and that's not really something that I need to be doing. I'm going to go back to doing it on the 41st day, but for 40 days. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to be a good Christian, right? And so whatever that means, and there are different religions and different philosophies and different spiritualities that give us an opportunity to be able to be in the stillness so that we can be attuned to what is really trying to emerge. And I created an acronym for Lent, and I think it's pretty much in alignment with what today's talk is, and it's love encouraging now thinking. And so when you're being present, you don't do those things that you unconsciously go about doing when you're not being intentional with your life. You are absolutely being in now thinking, not like, something bothered me before, so I'm going to eat this chocolate right now. Not, I'm going to do this workout because next week I want to be able to fit into that dress or that suit or whatever it is. But that love now, that love that is right now is what we're looking to be in. Because that love that is right now is not only constant, but it's an encouraging love. And an encouraging love is conspiring for our good at all times and in every way. And so one of the things that's in the book of the month for the inward journey is a piece that we used for the Wednesday night service that says, I want to be better. Like I want to be better with my family. I want to be better with my friends. I want to be better at work. I want to be better here and there. And so the people that were there were exploring that. I was down the street at a meeting with Temesco Business District. I'll talk to y'all about that at some point too. We got some changes coming up this summer on Telegraph Avenue. But anyway, so what's happening is I want to be better is generally the reason that people come to places like this on certain days of the week. Right? Because I want to be better. I don't know how. I'm looking for a light that I know is in me. But if I see it said, if I hear it played, if I see it sung or hear it revealed in some possible way, there will be a clue there. It's almost like you're looking for a treasure map to get to the treasure, and that there's going to be some piece that you're going to pick up here that was in you all along. You just happen to stop by here so you would know what direction to move into, right? And so we all want to be better because it is our nature. Because we come from an evolutionary energy. I call it God. I call it the presence. I call it the creator. I call it the universe. And so the universe is an evolutionary being, not a doing, but a being, as are we evolutionary beings. So as we become more of who we truly are, we get to release the density of this earth realm that keeps us stuck in being distracted by matter. Oh, what are they doing? What is Trump doing? What is Michael Cohen doing? What is R. Kelly doing? What is Jussie Smollett doing? What's happening with the taxes? What are the tax laws? Ain't got nothing to do with life. Only to do with the lower level demands. That's the dust and the grit of the journey. And we forgot our moments of high resolve because we were so worried about somebody else's pretend hate crime or somebody else's taxes or how much this person is going to spend time in jail and who was the campaign manager that did that and who gets to be pardoned. And so what? Is that putting food on your table? Is that making you warm at night? Okay, so let's get, real talk, right? Jesus was a Jew in Palestine. Just think about what that means today to be a Jew in Palestine. And so what struck me, because, I'm taking the Thurman class as often as I can, but to say Jesus was a Jew in Palestine, something struck a nerve in me around that. And I was like, oh, is he saying that this man is in an unsafe land? Well, this man that was in unsafe land somehow was able to be all up in the mix of that. He was able to, go ahead and have somebody send him a donkey and have him a meal prepared so that he could enjoy the Sabbath. He could enjoy, Passover in a place where they would be comfortable. And they got him a mule to ride on and all of that. And then the people, all of this adoration, people got all this adoration. They want to make somebody else an idol, an American idol, any kind of idol, just so long as I can project my greatness on you. So I don't have to focus on the greatness in me, right? And so as all of these people are doing this, and Jesus is not at all influenced by what this is happening. He's not going, oh, yes. He's not doing any of that. He's on purpose. He knows that he's being guided and directed by the source of his being, by the Father, the I am presence, and he is moving in that direction. Now, he knows that he is being guided and directed, just like I know when I'm being guided and directed. I was doing an interview for the Oakland Post earlier this week, and they were like, well, what made you came here? And I said, well, I was told by God that I could not be here. And so I know that I'm supposed to be here because of the indicators that I have seen, not necessarily outside of me, except the hearing of my hearing, the hearing of my ears and the vibration of the words in the sacred covenant and the vibration of the music that I'm hearing, that there is something that is speaking to my soul that is saying to release and surrender and just be here now. And so just as Jesus was a Jew in Palestine, there are times when we are surrounded by what appear to be enemies. They may be racist. They may be homophobes. They may be some kind of fascists. They may be some kind of what they call Nazis or there's all kind of terminologies for people who are in separation. But what's happening is I overcame the world. Jesus said, I have overcome the world. Don't even worry about it. Ain't no thing. Look what I can do. And not about me, but look what I did. And greater than these things shall ye do. Greater than this. Overcoming death. Overcoming betrayal. Overcoming mediocrity and all of these particular things that were pulling on his attention, he was clearly on purpose. And a man or woman on purpose is going to do what is theirs to do. In the 7 spiritual laws of success, Deepak Chopra says, we have taken manifestation to fulfill a purpose. We all have a purpose in life. Okay? Because there is something that you can do better than anyone else in the world. Say to your neighbor, there is something that you can do that is better than anyone else in the world. How's that feel? Things getting a little less fuzzy now? Now you're like, oh, let me tune in to what that thing is that I can do. I already know it. It's that thing I love to do. It's that thing I love to do. God is not that 1.0 God that makes it hard for you to live, to be who you are. It's already planted in you. All you got to do is yes. And so for every unique talent and unique expression of that talent, there are also unique needs, Deepak Chopra would have us know. And that's part of what the Dalai Lama was referring to today, when he was like, it's part of my responsibility to be there for each and every one of my brothers and sisters, right? And so because these needs are matched with the creative expression of your talent, your purpose is tied to fulfilling a need of other people who are on this journey with you. Or at a minimum, laying the groundwork for someone who is about to come into being, who has not yet been born. You see why we have to do these things, about like have green bins and blue bins, and to say, you know what? There's an environment that we need to take care of, not only for ourselves, but hey, we're here now, aren't we? But we also have to make sure that in the dramatic way that the earth is shifting, that we are going to take responsibility for our part in the little things that we can do are ending up to be big things in the greater scheme of things. And as I was saying, there is a number of different challenges that may come in different ways, and the storms can be used not only as something daunting, but something that can clear the way for something greater to happen. I watched this movie yesterday on Netflix. It was called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Anybody see that? These people are in Africa, right? And their livelihood is farming. And they got a chief and everything. And, the government is still, having its influence on us like it does. And, there's these storms that are going on. And these storms are like wiping out the trees. And then there's these dry seasons that they have. And that there's no way that they can irrigate the soil. And it's just like after a while, when the government started cutting them off and the chief decided to rebel and they beat him down until he was dying. And everybody said, well, what are we going to do? People started leaving their homes because they were hungry. They had to decide how many which meal, not even how many. They had meal for one day. And all the time, these parents had this idea for their children. They didn't want to be praying for rain. They weren't trying to be petitioning to that 1.0 version God. They say, please, please, please. They were saying, we want to educate our children. And so they sent the boy to school. The girl was still waiting to see if she was going to be able to go to university. You know how that is, women. We get to be in second place. And so what happened was the boy was in school, but the boy was like intrigued by different things. Like he would see the light on the bicycle, that the teacher was riding, and he was trying to see how that was powered up, right? And I probably shouldn't give away all the movie, but It's really good. But the thing is, he realized that there was a way that he could create a windmill, because he said they do that in America, and they power energy, and I can bring the water up from the well that will give us water so that we can go back to eating again, okay? And he said, but Daddy, I need your bike, because I got to break it up and it can never be used as a bike again. And he's like, no, that ain't happening. Right. His friends were leaving, and he was like, well, you help me get my bike back. Because they were like, well, why don't you just demand that your father give you the bike? Like, what boy is going to stand up to his father like that when he's like a teenager and he don't even know his power yet? And they all came up to him like, what you going to do? Y'all going to beat me up? The father's like, yeah. But it wasn't until things got even more intense that the father finally said yes. And that boy not only was able to help his family, but all the families in the area. And it turned their whole, was a game changer. It turned their whole lives around, and everybody around their life around. And so the thing is, when you are attuned to your genius, when God is giving you information, and you feel compelled that you have to do something with it, you have to follow that. That's your dharma. There's a reason why you are here. And so each of us are here to discover our higher self or our spiritual self. And inside of each one of us is a god or a goddess in embryo that wants to be born. And so that God or goddess that is in you that wants to be born is simply waiting for our yes. And so Thurman would say this about living. He would say, the integrity of the universe cannot be questioned nor doubted. The spirit must be and is perfect. That which is the back of everything must be good, must be complete, must be love and harmony. And so he talks about in some of the videos that we've seen on Thurman, whether it's in the workshop or in the Thursday night class, that he wants to experience his own me-ness. Thurman says, I want to experience my own me-ness. So I am on my own scent. Like I'm trying to find my scent. And if I can't find my scent in you, then my sniffer's off. Okay? So I have got to know that there is something in me that you also possess. And if I can't see it, then I need a course correction. I need some kind of a mental shift. I need some kind of a change in my thinking. That is how I become more than someone who says platitudes like oneness. But that is how I absolutely, actively get involved in the business of oneness, the Father's business, right? And so to be in integrity truly means that we are moving into our essence, that we are truly moving into that divinity, that little god or that little goddess that is seeking to be birthed in and as our lives. And so I got to thinking about what Shakti says about genius. And she's Shakti Gwain. She says, we will discover the nature of our particular genius when we stop trying to conform to our own or other people's models, learn to be ourselves, and allow our natural channel to open. We act like we need somebody else's permission to be brilliant. I don't want to make them feel bad because, they may not be talented as I am in this way. Let me just see how small I can get, But black people at least need to be tired of being invisible. I bought that painting out there that Gayla has out there. It's called Self-Portrait. It's a little girl that has no face. Because she said, are you here today, Gayla? Anyway, she said that her birth certificate says colored. And some of y'all might have that on your birth certificate. I don't know. Okay. And so little black girls were invisible. You could see they were little black girls, but you didn't see their faces. And so I decided that I wanted to have that as a reminder that no little girl should feel invisible. And especially not this one. Amen. And so Jean Houston says, we all have the extraordinary coded in us. Right? So no one is ordinary in total, right? There may be some things that we have that are in common, but everyone has something extraordinary within them. And so in my book, Divine Workplay, as we move deeper into Lent, I talk about the observance of Lent being a way to participate in a shift of energy on the planet. When we release things that we no longer want, or things that have too much negative control in our lives, this is not about depriving ourselves. This is about getting rid of the excess. That's how the David was created. Because the stuff that was unnecessary had to be moved so you could see the beauty that was lying within there, right? And so that's what we're doing with ourselves. We're moving away those things that are not necessary so we can see the beauty that is in there and be able to be with that and celebrate that. And so we're making room for that which we do want from a higher vibration, right? And so as we move through these next 35 days or so, and we want to be loving and letting love encourage us to be in our now thinking, we are really saying, you know what? I need to go to the store. I got that this morning in my meditation. It said, have you gone to the store? Where's the store? I'm not talking about Walgreens. I'm not talking about Safeway. I'm not talking about any of those kind of stores. Have you gone to the place where everything you need is? Have you gone to the place where everything you ever thought you wanted is? Have you gone to the store and taken what you needed? There is no currency that needs to be exchanged except for your faith that it is yours. There is no shoplifting involved. It is yours by divine birthright. Get yours. Get your blessings. Don't cost you nothing. You know, go ahead and get what God's got for you. This is what we're talking about when we say integrity. Be truthful. I should have put truthful, right? But I didn't want people to think, well, you know, she don't know how to spell or whatever. But full of truth simply means that there is a truth that resides within you. You know, being truthful is being able to embrace the fullness of what God has for us. Yes. Being willing to be a Jew in Palestine means that it doesn't matter all the indicators that may say that it's not safe to be you. Because your genius is required. George Bendel says, we are the forerunners of a new race of people. We are the arbiters of the fate of unborn generations. We are the custodians of the chalice of truth. But we are not hung on a cross. We have a song to sing. We have a joy to bring to the world. And love and peace and happiness. Get yours. Bring it. The world is waiting for you. Namaste. Kimberly sent me the prayer list, so I'm trying to pull it up. I think it's here. So the prayer box is here. Thank you, Mama Cedar. You may place it on that table. And as the practitioners and ministers join me in this wonderful time of tuning in to what's in the store, I know that God is love and wholeness, perfection and completeness. God is clarity, wisdom, truth. God is justice. God is freedom. God is support, supply, substance. It is my essence. It is the fullness of who I am. And as I know that this is true for me, I know it's true for everyone under the sound of my voice, those in this room, those who are on live stream, those who are seeing a recording at some point in time. For we know that there's really no space and no time. It's just the allness of life experienced at different angles and different levels. And so as I think about the allness of life, I'm knowing that there's so much genius in this room. There's so much genius in the planet. There's so much genius in the universe. And that every one of us is carrying a seed for the fulfillment of life in some way. And so I'm knowing that even as Liz Whitted Dawson is recovering from the accident that she was in, her wholeness has not changed. The truth of her completeness remains untouched. Her perfection is assured from where she came from, and it is this same wholeness of her spirit that is informing her mental, emotional, physical, and all of her subtle bodies of this truth. I am knowing that in the greatest grand scheme of things, that this is simply a storm and that she will stand and get what she needs out of this experience for her genius to be expanded in a greater way. I'm knowing this too for Kathy Susay, who is experiencing memory issues. I know that Kathy's mind is one with the mind of God. I know that there is a wisdom there. There is a knowing there that penetrates any kind of seeming blockage, any kind of seeming obstacle that appears to be standing in the way of her knowing whatever she needs to know. It is there. It is now being revealed to her in totality. I am knowing that it is the presence and the power of love that is right where Paul is. Rosetta Martinez's nephew, who did not pass his parole board this week. And so we're knowing that something greater needs to be known for Paul. And we're knowing peace for the family as they were with that disappointment this week and continue to miss his presence that has been seemingly absent for 25 years. But because we are all connected, we know that whatever one is experiencing has a lesson for everyone who is connected to us. And so we stand for freedom. We stand for justice. We absolutely know that this is our birthright, to be free and to know that justice is ours. And so for whatever delay that our ego may have deterring or deferring the time for us to step into this awareness of who we are, that right here, right now, that God is right where Paul is. And for the entire Martinez family, I'm knowing that right where Lynn Williams is, God is. And as she thinks about her brother Skipper, there's wholeness there. There's wholeness in the minds of each of his caregivers. There's wholeness for the surgeons. There's wholeness for the people who are in post-op. There's wholeness for everyone who brings him his meds, takes his temperature. Anybody who checks his blood, runs a test. There's guidance there. There's wisdom there. There is compassion there for anyone and everyone who even thinks about him. That the Skipper is still in charge. At the essence of who he is, the God in him is calling for something greater for his life now. And so I accept peace for Lynn and Manuel as they are being with these particular sets of circumstances. We send love right now to Christine Schofer, who had to return to Germany to be with her mother as she moves into her next level of releasing. And so we're knowing that as the body temple was only meant to be a temporary vessel, that the mind no longer needs to stay attuned to whatever the earthly things are. And just as I think about my ancestors who have gone on before me and how they decided to check out from this dimension, I'm knowing that already now Lynn's mother is in that next dimension thinking she's laying the groundwork for her next greatest yet to be. And so I am knowing that all things are working together for the highest and best good for all concerned. Those who are in this sanctuary right now, for anyone who may seem to have a health challenge. And I know that seem is not a word that you want to hear. But I know that whatever that experience is, whatever that pain is, whatever that congestion is, whatever that seeming blockage is, that there is something within you that is greater than that. Because remember, you have overcome the world. And I'm knowing that the divine flow of God's energy is simply the way that we prosper. And any kind of seeming financial challenge or hiccup is information. And we receive this information just like we do from computers and phones and every other technological device that we interact with. It's simply information. We don't need to go into crisis mode. We don't need to go into drama and worry, because we pray. And we choose prayer over worry. We choose to communicate with the source of all that is and says, I am available for my blessing now, God. Whether it requires me to do a mental shift or a physical shift or whatever it requires, I'm available to go to the store and get what I need. I know that any place where there may be some relationship blockages, some relationship impediments, that there's only love. And so we just let ego have a you may go now, bye-bye, so that we can allow love to have its full sway, to allow love to reveal itself as who we are and whose we are and what we are by what we do. We love. Love is our purpose. Love is our function. Love is our dharma. Love is our outcome. Love is our income. Love is our all. And so in gratitude for this truth, I give thanks for it all, and all that has not been spoken but known in the mind, I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Hallelujah. Well, as we prepare ourselves for offertory, we're going to let our music ministry start us off, and we can get to thinking about how to do our 10% math. I love how our artists are saying, oh no, we want to tithe more than 10%. We want to tithe more than 10% to the church for the painting soul. I love that. I'm like hoping that it's contagious up in here. It's like, you know what? God gives me more than 10%. What more can I give? What more can I have? What more do I deserve to have? Just say yes. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. My soul says yes. Yes to reflection. Yes to that thing that is calling me to be more and more and more who I am. Yes to the live streamers to text 50155 to East Bay and then follow the prompts. Don't let decimal points get in the way of your good. Keep moving it to the left. So I'm knowing that God is able. I'm knowing that God is the source and the substance of my life, of all of life. And so I celebrate its givingness, its abundance, and that it is bigger than a superstore. It is greater than any kind of physicality that I could imagine. It is so abundant and so multitudinous in its greatness. It is joy, it is prosperity, it is peace, and we get to participate in the flow of this divine good. I'm grateful for the giver and the givingness. I'm grateful for the receivers and the abundance that we receive. Oh, the blessings flow. In gratitude for it all, I release this word, I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, ushers. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this activity. It is more than you know. It is planting a seed into a harvest that is greater than our imaginings. So I'm texting to tithe, and that's done. I think we got some young people that are coming forward, don't we? Hey, Stacy, what y'all been doing?
What a beautiful morning. Our beautiful children were watching the Children's March. And, whoa, there I am. The Children's March is that civil rights that we've been watching, but it focuses on the children and their participation and what it meant and how it changed things. It was a game changer. There was one scene where there was a 4-year-old in jail. This child right here is 4. They arrested a 4-year-old. They were taking everybody. There were over 2,000 arrested. I can't imagine where they put them all. But things changed. So these children right here, even in the age that they are very powerful. Our youngest one is 2, and she shared with us what her teacher shared. Can you share that with the congregation? What did your teacher tell you?
Stand up.
Or was it for your freedom? Can you say it again?
Stand up for freedom.
Yeah. Thank you. So who's going to share today? Okay.
As we know, we watched a movie about the Children's March, and it was talking about segregation and how children were marching because if their parents marched, they would lose their jobs and their houses. And there were some funny parts because some of the kids were enjoying the water hoses because they were happy to be in jail.
You said more?
And they wanted to be in jail because if all the kids were in jail, then they wouldn't have enough space and they would get released for freedom.
Everybody was happy. They were like going to jail, so they're like, I'm going to go to jail. A person said, I got my rollers, so they were ready. You got to get pretty for jail.
And also what happened is that
is that after, what was I going to say? I forgot. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yes. I have nothing. I have nothing. What are you saying? Okay. Let's try.
There was also the kids march because, well, the kids were the only ones who volunteered because they knew that they couldn't lose anything because they didn't own a home or anything. So they were actually pretty happy. Like the police were swinging them into the buses because they didn't have any room in their cars. And there was one kid who brought his whole entire family and just like, we're going to have a party in jail. So.
Okay, and I really want to say thank you to Brother Richard. It was his first time being with us, and it was awesome. Did you say anything?
I think the message this morning was for the children to realize that we all can make a difference when it comes to realizing concepts like freedom. So back during the 60s, the children were instrumental in being able to call attention to the segregation and other problems that were confronting the South. So we just want to let our children know how important they are. And also, I think another overriding message was that the children, even though they were in jail, they weren't afraid because they know that God is always there.
Thank you. So let's reach out our hands to our children. Although each one of us may not be your parents, you are our children. We love you. We see you. We know who you are. And we support you unconditionally. And so it is.
Amen. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everyone who's with the children. And now we're going to move into our benediction. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my way through. And that way I can meet you at the back. Some of you slip out, so I stop going to fellowship hall. I just go to the back of the sanctuary. I'm going to give my hug. Let's stand together and join hands. Mother, Father, God. Love, joy, freedom, justice, source, substance, supply, the allness of my life. How great it is to have a place to come to celebrate its magnificence and to celebrate the magnificence that is in me. And I can see the magnificence that is in my sister, my brother, my friend, my seeming stranger, someone I just simply haven't met yet. For I am knowing that my scent is your scent, that we are one, and that there is nothing that could ever keep us apart, just as there is nothing that could keep me apart from my God. I celebrate this oneness. I celebrate this truth, this freedom, this love, this ever-expansive givingness, the ultimate superstore that God is. Not simply for the things, but for every possible quality that I could ever want to embody. I celebrate that I already have it. I give thanks for my capacity to share it. As I leave from this space, I know that God guides and directs, orders our steps, and supports us with every breath. In gratitude, I release this word, I let it be, and so it is. Amen.
I can see clearly now be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright,